We have breaking news as the Georgia Bulldogs land a top target. We're going to break that down and other events that you may or may not have seen surrounding everything Georgia recruiting over the past couple days. We got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Georgia Football 365. If you are a Georgia Bulldogs fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 6.2% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, and it really helps me out a ton. Now, today, Saturday, July 18th, and yesterday, Friday, July 17th, we had 3 players who had Georgia in the final 4 teams, I should say, of their commitments. All 3 players committed. Let's explain exactly what happened. Starting off with our breaking news coming from Dogs 24/7 on X. Breaking news, 4-star safety Adrien Cole commits to Georgia. So this one is finally official as the Georgia Bulldogs pick up a big-time safety recruit, one of our top targets. Adrien Cole, 6'2", 190 pounds, out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's big to keep this guy in state and with the Georgia Bulldogs, especially because another very highly safety recruit was just missed by Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs. But let's talk about exactly what Adrien Cole brings to the table. He is a 4-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports, rated a 90 overall, ranked as the 27th best safety in the class of 2027 and the 26th best player in the state of Georgia. The 24/7 Sports composite grade, aka the consensus ranking in the class among all recruiting outlets, 166th best player in the class. Usually your 150 is the elite prospect, your best of the best type of area. So just outside the top 150, but Adrien Cole is going into his senior year this season and has an opportunity to raise himself even higher. Now, he said a lot when he committed. Unfortunately, it was pretty tough to hear anything on the actual commitment announcement, but fortunately, to learn more about what he does, we do have the scouting report written up by TJ Randall, a 24/7 Sports analyst, who writes what Adrien Cole is all about. Essentially painting the picture of a box safety who is also able to drop down into coverage. I know that makes it sound like he's great at everything when it comes to playing safety, but first of all, he's a top safety prospect, so he is probably great at everything when it comes to playing safety, but he is a better way to put it would be he is a great box safety who is also, it's not a weakness to drop back, he's just a better box safety. So let's jump into some of these bullet points from TJ Randall. Checks many of the requisite boxes for a modern back-end defender by tallying green, sprint, and explosion scores while standing over 6 feet tall. Essentially, what this is saying is he is a fast sprinter and an explosive athlete relative to his size. Possesses a legitimate trigger, hitting the gas to close on intermediate routes with real authority. Someone tries to catch a football over the middle, Cole is going to be closing on that incredibly fast. He also has a level of functional long speed who won't let him down when it's time to carry routes vertically. That's the part where we're talking about also able to drop back into coverage when he has to. Generally in and out of breaks with the shortest number of steps possible to put a cap on possible after catch contributions. Love to hear this. Good footwork. You always want to make sure you are making your cuts and such in the least amount of steps possible, because every extra step you have to take takes extra time, and you want to make sure you are being as fast and as efficient with your movement as possible. Executes proper tackle technique with some oomph given the situation presented. Again, pretty good box safety. Some instances of, then we got the cons at the end of the list, but overall, legitimate trigger, has the oomph. Overall, sounds like a very hard-hitting safety. You're going to want to put him in the box. I'm excited for what he brings to the Georgia program. So now let's talk about what he has to improve on. Some instances of misdirection, pulling him off the flow of the ball while moving closer to the box, but won't hesitate to race downhill once it registers. So essentially, his eye discipline has to be a little bit better. Just has to, just got to be able to watch the ball and figure out where it's going. Maybe you can get that from watching more film. Certainly you can get better at this with just more experience. We got to remember, these are only juniors, or all this evaluation done through his junior year of high school. So there's certainly plenty of time for Adrien Cole to work on that little weakness there. And then plays deep and near the box, crystallizes his profile as a potential starting caliber hash safety at the Power 4 level. I would expect that out of a top recruit like this. Now, let's jump into some of our other updates over the past couple days. I guess we'll start off with Tishon Poole. Yesterday, we were expecting him to commit to the Florida State Seminoles, and unfortunately for Georgia, that did eventually happen to come to pass. So a top safety, I believe the best safety, or at least certainly the number one uncommitted safety who was left in Georgia, does leave the state for the Florida State Seminoles. It is what it is. Tishon Poole, not going to be a Georgia Bulldog. The bigger name, however, Carlos May, about an hour ago committed to Ohio State, giving them a trio of tremendous defensive linemen for the 2027 recruiting class. Again, same thing. When it comes to defensive linemen and offensive linemen for Georgia, I know we're always going to have a top-tier group. Would have loved to have added Carlos May to that group. It is what it is. Georgia will find a way to recoup that loss. Now, this is, I believe, before Cole gets added to the class, but Georgia's recruiting class currently ranked as number 16. That will go up a little bit once Cole is factored in. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about Georgia being low. I'm seeing a couple of people unhappy with where Georgia's recruiting class is currently ranked, but we have to remember things are not all set in stone yet. We still have plenty of time before this recruiting class is officially, is the word I'm looking for, done. One thing I forgot to add about Carlos May, based on everything that I've been hearing, this is a recruitment that I would expect the Georgia Bulldogs to be pursuing through the whistle, meaning Kirby Smart and the rest of the coaching staff is going to be trying to stay in contact with Carlos May all the way up until National Signing Day. So this one, while I don't, at this moment in time, don't foresee him flipping from Ohio State to Georgia, it is something that we should keep in the back of our heads, and it's a name that I'm sure we have not heard the last of. However, Tishon Poole, wish I could say the same thing, but he is not someone that I would expect to be recruited through the whistle. I would expect him to officially be gone. So Georgia, right now, 16th best recruiting class in between Nebraska and UCLA. Expect that number to jump up to maybe 14 or 13 with the addition of Adrien Cole. It's not going to be going crazy. We got a lot of dominoes still left to fall before the 2027 recruiting class is all set in stone. And we got to remember, it is about winning the regular season and in the postseason. It's not about winning the offseason. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go Dogs!